shoots! Delaney Sheehan! What a strike! Houston leads!
What's up, H Town and all around? OSG here. Like I say every time, you know the voice, you know the mug. Hey, today a little bit different. You know what's up? I got my partner here with me tonight. Huh? You thought it'd be dynamic foxtrot, but no, it's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be cesspool with me tonight, man. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, man? What's up, everybody? Everybody watching at home. How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing well. And, just coming off a Dynamo, a Houston Orange weekend, not only the Dash win, Dynamo and Dynamo 2. So, hey, that has not happened in a long time. So when it does, it rains and everybody's happy in Houston for the weekend.
Absolutely, you're not kidding, man. That friggin' triple header, that was friggin' awesome, dude.
Hey,
That
man,
just like
I know for you it's a little worse. You have to drive from Austin all the way to Houston. I'm local, and for me it was a drag, so I can't imagine how it went for you.
yeah, man, it's all right, man. I got a place to stay when I'm there, so it is all friggin' good, man. So that's all that matters. So hey, I get to have fun. I get to enjoy the games. I get to do everything. So it's fun and go home when I want to go home, and get take. Work allows me to take off as much time as I'm able to take off. So shit, so I'm having
Hey,
fun.
man,
But
take
man,
advantage.
yeah, yeah, for real. But all right, man. So again, like I say, during the week, nothing much going on as far as news, as far as the team goes. Of course, right before the game, they announced, or not right before the game, the day before the game, they announced roster updates. And man, the big one, which doesn't matter to Dash, but we just loaned her out back to her home to just to, I guess to get play soccer and just
Yeah,
enjoy it
stay
and
fit.
maybe yeah, stay fit. At least play, have minutes and everything. And I don't know the details if it was the first game or if it was even just at practice and she didn't get to play her first game. But Amanda West goes down on a season-ending injury and just tears up her knee and unfortunately has to come back to Houston to rehab and is
Hmm.
now out for the season. So that was sad to hear just because I was people like Amanda West and what kind of striker she could be, but whatever she's damn, that sucks because that's a whole season now. So
Yeah,
that hurts her career too.
that's a Houston
Heather
trend,
Hens
you
is
know.
activated. Yeah, it could be. But Heather Hens is activated. Now we have four freaking keepers, so they're gonna have to figure out what to do. Jane Campbell, Beardsley, Smith, Heather Hens. So somebody's gonna get loaned out. Pretty sure. We'll see. Chappie, we've wondered about with defensive help. She's added to the 45-day injury list now. So that was we were wondering if we were going to get her back soon. Nope, added to the 45-day. And then not really bad news anymore because what has she done for us? Sorry, because that's a horrible segue. But Ramona Bachman is taking parental leave and gets
Yeah.
to go home with her wife and her baby and spend some family time. Sorry, the lead in was horrible. I just said because she has yet to like really be the player that we expected her to be when she is since she's been here in Houston and she's missed so much time. But what are your thoughts on those roster updates there?
Um, the way Houston has been playing recently I mean, is it doesn't make a difference, especially Bachman. She wasn't able to fulfill the promise that she was when she came into the Dash. Heather Hins is a little interesting in my part. I personally have always, liked her since last year. I feel like last year, she was burning in a couple of games and she did pretty well. I think Jane got hurt last season and she came in and she played
Mm-hmm.
pretty well for a rookie. So I'm interested to see if she's going to be the third choice keeper and or if she's going to be the one to be loaned out. Other than that, it's no secret that the Dash need more power in the attacking side. They're just not converting. They're not scoring. The leading scorer in the team only has 2 goals, So getting, even if it's for the future, having a player get hurt in the middle of your season getting loaned out is not pretty, especially being somebody so that maybe we can get some minutes out of in the next season. But as of now, it's a Houston thing to roll with the punches. We're hustlers. We're resilient. I have no doubt the coach is gonna be able to find where to patch those holes. But people like Bachman, um, when is her contract again?
Yeah, I don't know that one off the top of my head. But that is a good question.
I don't understand as a
It'll be
like
what it'll be.
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so all good. We'll just move on from Bachman right there. She's enjoy her family time, and we'll see if
Hmm.
she comes back a rejuvenated woman, or we'll see what ends up happening in the future. No telling. She could return back towards the end of the season, and just have a great finish to the season. But that's just going to be me being
Yeah.
hopeful. But let's move on forward. We're making it to the game: Houston Dash versus Utah Royals on a Friday night in Houston, 7 o'clock p.m. And prior to the game, yeah, getting mixed all the players, but Katie Lynn, former Katie Naughton, is honored for her 150th start last game in front of the fans, and it's just an honorable moment. But Lynn has been just a statue for that defense, and I'm glad she's been able to come back in good shape and just be a part of that defense and holding up that block, and such a necessity with Tarsi leaving, man. But Katie Lynn honored for 150 says.
Hey, that's just a testament of the kind of players just being here in Houston. Um, in my opinion, she's been solid all the throughout. And after Tarcian leaving, the spotlight was on her. She's I feel like it's always important to honor players like her, recognize the kind of people, the kind of work they put into the club, that kind of helps the club find an identity, and it's a small thank you, you really don't see that from the club very many times, so it's always special to see it. And what a way to see that with the game that we had in our hands. And you would agree.
Right, right, right. Yeah, she's. I've been hoping for her. I mean, just waiting for her return. And even before Tarsi was gone, I was like, man, Katie Lynn and Tarsi together right there. You have Natalie Jacobs. You have Paige Nielsen. Jesus
Hmm.
Christ. You're like, all right, looking at this, man, you were just hopeful. Well, you do what you got to do because that's how business works. And Tarsi gets sold, but
Yeah.
Katie Lynn has been holding it down. Unfortunately, not Katie Lynn, Kate Natalie Jacobs is injured and missed the past couple of games. Hopefully, she's going to be ready for this Friday's game, but we'll see whenever they come out on the field on Friday. But she's been a big piece missing right there and injured. Evelina Duljan has been missing as well. I was hype about her. She's been injured and missing. So there's a couple pieces, but Avery Patterson returned back to the lineup and returned back to the starting lineup. So as I go through the lineup real quick, a little bit, you're curious as what's going to happen, who's going to do what. You're missing. Is Alozia going to get a start right now, or are they going to keep Westfall? And Westfall gets the win. Westfall starts on that left. Katie Naughton in the middle, Nilsson, of course, and then Patterson playing the wing. Gary's playing the wing. You had Colaprico and Sheehan playing holding mids with Sheehan playing a little more forward than Colaprico. It looked like
Yeah.
Maggie Graham even back involved in the midfield with Yasmin Ryan and Messiah Bright getting the start at striker. Did anything
Uh,
surprise you when the lineups come out?
um, to be quite honest with you, I was a little surprised not to. Alozie wasn't even called on the bench for this game. You know, that's
Right.
that's that stood out for me. Other than that, with the dash, they've changed their lineup game over game. So I stopped trying to guess, and then just let myself be surprised. And especially playing with a back line of three,
Yeah.
it's always a guess with them. But I think personally speaking, Nielsen and Westfall were the ones in the back. Katie wasn't as participative, in my opinion, as the other two. And then in the middle, you maybe you won't let me lie. A little underwhelming performance from Patterson. The wings, I don't. Even though we attacked a lot, I don't think the wings were a threat. I think it was more from Sheehan. I think it was more from Ryan and Bright that were right there bugging the defense the whole game. But you didn't see that much play from the wings and from the middle. The middle, and then the middle, it was just completely dead, and it was just up to Nielsen and Westball to kind of lead the attack, which was fun to see,
That
to
is,
be quite honest.
and that's a great point that you bring up. Even not even knowing, Fabrice talked about it in the press conference after the game. That's that situation, and there's a lot of segue we're going to do right here because that's a great topic that you just brought up. I asked Ryan Gary's in the mix zone later, and I have a little clip to play. But also, real quick to back up what you said, Fabrice said in the press conference the same exact thing that you were talking about, that we weren't using the width, and it was just the connections are just not connecting as fast and coming together as much. So it's still building, it's there, but sometimes he said I think that they're too much freedom that he allows them to
Hmm.
play in their space is maybe hindering the transition correctly on the offensive side. So curious, but you bring it up, you see it, you saw it, you were there at the game,
Yeah,
and he brings
yeah,
it
yeah.
up in the press conference and says the same exact freaking thing. And
And I'm not sure if it's maybe it has to do with instructions from the coach because it's not just one side, it's both, and I think maybe the two wingers on the side are more staying back, every time, and I think they're abusing the overlaps, and I think because of that, it kind of keeps the midfielders and or the players that play on the wing and the midfielders like it just exposes them to not being able to touch the ball. They have to stay back and cover. However, it worked for Houston. Houston wasn't as much of a threat as Utah was, in my opinion. However, I think Houston was able to manage the game better, and that's why they were able, with a goal from another game. To be quite honest with you, they were able to beat Utah. I don't know how you feel personally about not having a Lozi and not even on the bench. She was a stable player 2 years ago, and it's kind of strange to see her in this position now where she sometimes doesn't get called up.
well, I would assume there was a late injury or a late something that kept her from the game, kept her from even making the bench because you added a third keeper to the bench. You didn't even
Hmm.
have Zoe Matthews. Zoe Matthews didn't even make the bench. So no, there's no telling what was going on there to why she didn't make the bench. But I'm surprised like you for her not making the bench. So I'm gonna assume there was an injury or a late injury that kept her from the game, and it's not performance based or anything like that because she's done so well. And then come on, you don't not roster her like the day before her birthday either. or, or like for her birthday weekend. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with injury. And you're like, hey, coach has got to do it. Coach has got to do it. Doesn't matter what day of the year it is.
Yeah, no, no. I've Dynamo players that played on their birthday. Yeah, I don't think that would have anything to do with it.
I want to set up a clip, man. I was asking Ryan Gary's because I'm watching off the ball a lot of the times too, and Gary's was hugging the wings. Patterson was trying, but Gary's was playing higher. Yasmin Ryan was playing more freely in the on the wing, but not as out wide. But Gary's was kind of open a few times, and even Messiah Bright tried to make some timed runs, and the
Hmm.
team did not notice. And I kind of asked Gary's about it in a
Yeah,
particular
I
game.
think my game, I love to try to stretch the field. I think when it's on, we need to try to go. When it's not, like keep being composed and keep.
She had a lot of, in my opinion, she actually took advantage
Field, I
of
think when it's on, we need to try to
the
go. When
ball.
it's not, like keep being composed and keep the ball. So I think the more we build connections, it's a newer group. Um, and new relationships and new connections. Again, as we build those, I think we'll learn how each other play, and that will come more seamlessly. But I mean, a win is a win. There's definitely a lot of things to build on. But yeah, in terms of the attack, I think there's definitely ways we can be more dangerous.
Yeah. Well, that one looked like that kind of broke up a little bit, but yeah, as you can tell, she just the the team had a little bit of the connectability, and just missing that, not seeing it, and just again with Fabrice saying the freedom of how the music to play. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. But yeah. So calm down, girl. Calm down, girl. All right, that's fun. Uh,
You're
Jesus
there.
Christ, what's going on? Technical difficulties like that. Like, so gotta figure this stuff out sometimes. But going back, like stats, man, like you said, we were a more composed team. We played our tactics better. Utah looked more dangerous. Utah had more opportunities, but they
Yeah.
just weren't as dangerous opportunities. Jane did have to make a couple of saves, but the team looked very good together and didn't make those mistakes that you kind of see that causes us games and gave us that chance to win 1-0. Because second half, Utah was the team who actually turned it on and was taking the opportunities more often. And then that goal just came out of friggin' nowhere, and you just were so excited about it, as you should be, and she
Yeah.
was.
Who wouldn't be? No, and like I said,
Yeah, no joke, right?
it's a to me it is a well thought out, it is a well tactically played win. But let's not forget, it's Utah, right? And Utah is not at the very top of the table either, you know? If anything, this victory is something we can use to build momentum off of. But make no mistake about it, this game only masquerades the lack of attacking options that we have, or maybe not options themselves, because I believe we have great players. More so, the lack of attacking creativity, right? We are not utilizing our wings. On the wings, who I forget her name on the left hand side, on the right hand side. We just
Barb,
mentioned
or what you
her,
mean?
Greece.
Avery? Gary's?
Yeah, Gary's. Yes. Um, sh- she had at least I saw at least two good dribbles on that wing, and she looked like she could take the wing, and like I said, it's just we were just abusing the overlap. And then in the defense, I will say we stood back pretty well. Utah had double the amount of shots, and I feel like Jane did pretty well. I feel like the entire team on the defense did pretty well. And kudos to the wings, because the wings were just coming back down, and they were defending well. They were anchoring down pretty well. And but again, as one of the bottom teams in the league, we need to come up with a different game plan if we are to compete for a playoff spot. It is a long season. I believe they can turn it around, and I think that this is the victory that could actually set the stage for a turnaround. Even if the players that they have on injury reserve get healthy again, I don't think they can add anything extra than what we already have. If you want anything, any more power, it'll come from transfers, and like I said, the team has enough to turn it around. What do you think?
No, man, I agree. They just need to find that creativity and find that the way to attack properly. The defense has always been our Achilles heel for this team, and they're built strong right now, and they're playing strong as a unit, and they're looking good as a unit, and we're building up that process, but it's just ending. We can't make it all the way up that damn tree, and we just kind of fall out. We call it fall off a branch. It just doesn't can't hold our weight no more. So it's not a threat to the keeper on the other end of the pitch, and it's you can see opportunities. It's building, and at the beginning of the scene, Fabrice was telling them building on confidence, and they just need to believe in themselves. And I think they just come on, man. You've been playing this game for so long, so maybe the freedom is just throwing off the players, but you got to know, like, hey, Brian Gary's with her stick. What
Yeah,
she does, she's going to be on that. She's going to be hugging that wing. Patterson's going to be overlapping over there on the other side. You're going to know Barb Oliveri where she's going to be into the space in the midfield.
yeah,
You know you should know your team by now, so know the type of players you're playing with and the opportunities. Our striker, like Messiah Bright with her pace. You see her making those curved, ready runs to take on a
yeah.
defender on a through ball. Look for those and have your head up instead of trying to play a short pass. We need to expand our range. I think is what we need to do, and take a little more chances. And maybe he plays those tactics in like windows during a game. First 10 minutes, let's play for a breeze ball. All right, next 5 minutes, I'm going to allow y'all to start putting some balls over the top and pushing some balls through a little bit differently. All right, 20 at the 20-minute mark. Okay, think y'all did a good job. Relax. Or if it worked, you just keep rolling with it. I don't know. You can make changes, make plays. I don't know. It would be nice for us to go a little more forward, like you said. He said more direct is the interference. We do need to play within that umbrella of left wing and
Yeah.
right wing and get utilize that space because that's when the balls come back in the box and become dangerous. Deona Does is healthy. Deanna Ordonez is healthy again and is going to be becoming more back into that lineup. And you want to put
Hmm.
balls in the box to where she's going to be dangerous because she is a different type of striker than Messiah Brighton. She needs that ball in the box. She's not going to beat you like too much on the dribble. She's going to open the space and get you
It's
a good
really
run.
strong, really powerful. And that's kind of interesting because having she came into the game. And if you notice after in the second half, when she came in, she didn't get very many chances, right? But not only did she come in, Barb came in before her, I mean. And my thought process was, okay, are we gonna change the style of play? Because like you said, Bright is a different type of player than Ordonez. And at that point, you take out your striker and you bring Barb, and then the position where you play Barb, you play her on the wing. So I'm expecting more crosses. I'm expecting more wing play. I'm expecting the team to open up, and it just didn't happen. And you even forgot that Ordonez went in, so that just kind of tells you, like you said, it kind of reinforces that statement you made where you have to know your player's strengths and you have to adjust because the spearhead and the team, which in this case is your attacker, right? It has to, if it changes, you have to play to their strengths. And he, in my opinion, kind of exposed Ordonez. And Ordonez had 20 good minutes to make an impact, and she just didn't. And it just goes to show the way the team was playing was very centered. We need to open up. We need to go back to the drawing board and notice a difference in play between players because I didn't see it. The team play the same.
Yeah, and he did talk about putting Adonias in late and taking out Colaprico. Yeah, it was Colaprico took out.
Oh,
She had a
Prico,
yellow
yeah.
card. Was his excuse? She had a yellow card. You dropped Maggie back into the six, so you weren't losing a six anyways, and you brought Adonias in. Uh, I guess my only complaint is, man, you only brought in Ordonez and you only brought in Oliveira for the is your only subs. You do have players over there on the bench. I was expecting, man. You have Sophie Schmidt. You're winning 1-0
Hmm.
with 10 minutes to go in the game. This is one girl I talked about. That's where her role belongs, and I don't want her to start. I want her to come in and hold games down. And boom, I expected her to come in. They almost put Puntingham in, and it was going to be super late. But that's
Yeah,
a, that's, that's another
that's
player
a
that could have used it defensively. Kiki Van Zanten, she was available and ready. You could have put in a little youth experience. I don't know you, but he stuck with it. It worked out
Bell
hindsight.
Breed.
Yeah, but and Breed hasn't even got a minute yet in the season as well. So
That's
what's going on with
shocking. That's
Russia?
shocking.
Yeah, but you know, great win, 1-0. Jane Campbell, 40th clean sheet in regular season play for her in her career. So amazing feat right there. Clap, clap. 40. Also, Rebecca made the bench. Did not get to make the pitch, but she did make the bench. So that was
Yeah.
good to see that she was at least available and possible to be used. So we'll see if she can make it on the pitch against Racing Louisville this coming Friday. But what do you think about? Since I haven't talked to you about this new signing, and the fans probably haven't heard your perception on her. It's kind of hard since we haven't seen her play here yet. But what is your perception on Rebecca and our expectations for her with this team?
To be quite fair with you, I know she comes from Brazil. I know we have a good track record with Brazilians. I know that in Brazil, whenever there was talk about bringing her in, I did look her up, and in Brazil, she had only one goal and one assist. Um, in terms of what I think of her, we need pace in the middle. We need touch. We need somebody that can control the game, and I'm hoping she can have that. You know. Uh, what is she plays middle, no? She plays midfield or she plays
No, she plays everything on the back line, and she can play CDM as well.
exactly. And to replace Tarciana, hopefully she's just as good as her, if not better. I was shocked when she left, but because she was the first game she played, I remember going to the first game she came last season. Oh my God, everybody was just she was getting everything out, slide tackling, covering,
Oh yeah.
intercepting, tackling. She was a spider. Uh, I'm hoping Rebecca can do that. She's still young if I'm not mistaken. So
19.
yeah, we can have a great player for years or we can have a bust, right? But lately, I'm not gonna lie to you, the Dash have had good touch with their signings. And honestly, the way the defense played, it wouldn't hurt to have an extra defender there. And I believe if she's just as good as Tarciana, that she's gonna start. You saw
Well,
the impact they made immediately.
yeah, the only comparison that she's gotten to Tarsi is she's Brazilian. Okay, she hasn't got any other comparison anywhere close to it.
No,
And
not
she's
as far as
gladly.
the type of play, more like the quality of play.
Okay, all right. Hopefully, she's different size player, but hey, Brazilian soccer players are always the athletic, and there's a lot of skill coming from there. So I'm ready to see her. I'm hoping to see her. I kind of thought maybe we would get to see her winning 1-0, and you need defensive players, but like I said, hindsight for beast won and got the game, got the dub. First home win of the season, first home win since September of 20 friggin' four, bro.
And if I'm not mistaken, she's like under 20 finalist, right? Like one second place against North Korea or no.
For
For
Brazil.
Brazil, yeah, women's under 20, right?
Yeah, under 20. What's it?
World Cup.
World Cup. Yeah,
Yeah, the
World
World
Cup.
Cup.
Yeah, yeah. So she does have good experience from internationally as well. So there is hype behind her. Now we just need to see what she can do in orange and purple. And I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited to see it, man. But woo wee.
And typically the kind of Brazilian players we bring a lot of Brazilian players with good touch. They obviously come with good
Yeah.
technique, but they're very, very safe with touch and we have a good track record. So it's gonna go well, bro. Relax.
All right. Good. 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 That's good to hear. I'm looking forward to it. All right, man. I think that covers it. It's a 1-0 win. Y'all go check out the press conferences. We've got them on the Foxtrot Game Day Dash version that you can also see here on Foxtrot TV. So go check it out. There's some other things that go on as far as what's going on with the game as well, and then we post the press conferences and what happens in the mix zone. So y'all go check that out. Hear for yourself what they had to say in the press conference, and not just hear it from me and Cesspool. All right, so moving on, Cesspool, the NWCL schedule for the week. Everybody else got to play. There's 7 games a week now. Of course, somebody played on Tuesday. That was Portland, I believe, beat Gotham 4-1, which was dang okay, surprise, surprise. And we get to Friday. Houston beats Utah 1-0, and then game of the night. Orlando beat Angel City 3-2, and I think Angel City was up 2-0 in that game in Orlando, and Orlando had to come back and win that game. Friggin' shucks.
Mhm.
Because I'm always rooting. We're always rooting for the tyrants to lose, man. And then a surprise again. Washington at home goes down 3-0 to Gotham, who just got
Gotham,
their ass
yeah.
whooped to Portland. Like so, they turned it right back around. And then surprise, surprise, North Carolina beats Kansas City 3-2. Kansas City friggin' goes down. Their first loss
Hmm.
of the season. I was so excited to see that score. It looked like a friggin' battle. Chicago at home loses 3-0 to San Diego. Womp womp. And then Bay versus Seattle was 1-1. Portland and Louisville, man, which is nuts because that would soon segue into our next opponent, who is racing Louisville.
Yeah.
That game was insane, 3-3. If y'all watched it, man, it was Louisville 1-0, then 1-1, then 2-1 Louisville, and then 3-1 Louisville, and then 3-2 Portland, and then 3-3 Portland. They got a penalty in the 10th minute of extra time to end the game. to, to save the game, to save the freaking game.
Hey, a point. A point is a which doesn't do much
Yeah,
to Chicago. Is just to kind of, you know,
yeah, I know
spoil the
that. I know
party.
you. Right. You take what you can get, man. But so that moves us on to the standings now. 5-1, Orlando and Kansas City at the top. 5-1, both kicking ass with 15 friggin' points. Washington still holding up third with 12 points, and then as you move on down, of course, to the standings, we are in 10th though. Those 3 points did do us a favor. North Carolina jumped as well with us, so Louisville sitting in 12th. We are sitting in 10th place with 7 points, sitting at 2-3-1, getting ready to host another game at home on Friday friggin' night. So
Hmm.
real quick, I'll tell us the schedule that we have for this week, and then of course we're going to come back and preview Houston versus Louisville. But Washington hosts Angel City. It looks like that's your Friday night prime game as well. FYI, people. Seattle hosts Kansas City on Friday night as well. Portland versus Orlando. That's cool. Orlando on the road again against Portland. We'll see what's going on there. Utah hosts North Carolina. We'll see if Utah can have a little comeback win against North Carolina. Gotham against Chicago. Chicago should be just a walk in the park for Gotham. And then San
Hmm.
Diego versus Bay to end off the friggin' week. But I'll let you start, man. It's Houston versus Louisville. Racing Louisville on Friday night at 7 o'clock again. Pups in the park. What you got? What's on your mind? What are you expecting?
I'm expecting for Dash players to understand and realize how important this kind of games are for them in terms of easy points on the table, hypothetically speaking, right? On paper, Louisville is on the bottom, one of the bottom teams. They're not playing well. Dash come from a game where they played well. They were outshot, but they were still able to tactically play better. And that's got to mean something, right? These are easy points they got to pick up on the road. If you notice on the table, between eighth place and 10th place, right? There's only 1 point difference. And to get to and one win, hypothetically can jump Houston back to fifth place or maybe sixth, right? And these are the kind of games where you start to capitalize and start getting your points, right? And so you then at that point you can afford to lose if you have to against teams like Kansas and Orlando, right? Those are teams where you can budget a loss or to drop some points or maybe a tie. But games like Louisville, like Courage, Angel City, Rain, those are the type of games where you gotta come in strong, and you gotta come in and get those points off the table because those are the kind of points that are gonna make a difference, whether we make it to the playoffs or not.
They do have Katie Lunn in goal, so they do have a good goalkeeper over there.
Yeah, bro, but you gotta understand when you're looking at the table and you see a 6 goal differential,
Yeah,
it's a leaky defense, and we have strikers that need that confidence to come back. Houston is not scoring very much either, and so these are the kind of games where we can not run up the score, but where we can actually just start gaining confidence as a team and build a snowball effect to then you're be in a respectable position or make playoffs. Being 10th is better than what we were last year, but this team is made for at least getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, well, we'll work. We'll work with it. We'll work with it. Now,
Hmm.
yeah, we're playing Racing, who was just on the road at Portland, and remember 3-3, 3-3, right? So
Hmm.
they're playing it. Looks like their formation is a 4-2-3-1 on the road, so we're very familiar with that formation. But I mean, they 45% possession and had 18 shots on, not on goal, 18 shots and on goal against friggin' Portland in their house.
Hmm.
Portland with 12 shots, and to come back to win. Portland with the better possession, but stat wise, it looks like they were just pretty forward with their attack and took their opportunities, and just went with you know taking chances and said, "Hey, we're not that good of a team. We're not that great of a team. So if we're gonna have to take the bullies on, we're gonna have to do something a little different." And I think that's kind of what you're asking the Dash to be doing. Is kind of this whole episode right there. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very, very, very curious how this game's gonna play out and how Fabrice is gonna come out tactically. Tonight is Tuesday night as we're recording live. I believe Fabrice will be on the press conference Wednesday or Thursday. I forget. I believe it's Wednesday, and we'll see what he has to say about this game. And then, of course, y'all make sure y'all are at the game on Friday. It's Pups in the Park, and it is also a Jane bobblehead, and I believe the pups are in the bobblehead too. So that's going to be a good
Yeah.
bobblehead. So somehow we're gonna have to be able to get some, and maybe Edgar, if you're listening, brother. Sorry, I didn't mean to say your name. If it was,
Leonardo.
get
Jack.
some get some saved across for us real quick for us, please, man. But
Gotta talk to
uh,
Dynamo FO, see if they save us some.
yeah, especially those. Hey, we're trying to get some fans to come to the park. We're doing little promotions. Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I appreciate the club, man. They always taking care of us, man. They always taking care of us. But so, going back to the game, Racing Louisville at home. You're coming off your win. You like you said, hot win at home. Hoping you get a few more fans there. It's going to be a nice May 2nd. Probably look like a decent weather day right now, unless things change later on in the week. But what is your score prediction? What do you think's going to happen in this game, score wise?
Um,
Put you on the spot, says.
no, no, I'm gonna go based off of what I saw from Louisville. Oh shit. All right, give me a second. No, I'm gonna go based off the prediction. I'm gonna go based off the last game for Louisville. I think Louisville are gonna try to repeat the recipe with Dash. But they were sloppy, and I think that's where we can capitalize. If Louisville does that, I see us winning 2-1, or maybe 3-1. If Louisville comes in, trying to defend more, then it's gonna be either a tie or a 1-1. I mean a 1-0. I don't think we still have that difference maker yet to unlock a game like that.
Well, that makes me now. If I could do it within the quickness of the lightning, I kind of want to look at their friggin' schedule and see who they've actually played this season. And here it comes now. So matches 3-3, and I'm gonna go backwards. And what are we, 6 games in or seven? Shit, I already
Six,
forgot.
7-7.
7 games in now. Okay, all right. But 3-3 tie. All right. At home they lost 4-1 to San Diego. At home they lost 2-0 to the Spirit. On the road they beat Chicago Stars 1-0. On the road, they lost to Bay FC 2-0. At home, they North Carolina Courage 1-1, and that's it. That's the season right there. So they've got that one win against the Chicago Stars. We had that one win against the Chicago Stars in Chicago as well. Ours was 2-1. Theirs was 1-0 for like
Hmm.
opponents. They did lose 2-0 to Washington as well, both at home. We haven't played San Diego. We haven't played Portland. We haven't played Bay. Hadn't played North Carolina.
It's a
So
very, very, very mysterious game, man. It's a game that there's really not a defining factor. It could go either way, and but if the Dash come out with the same confidence and a good game plan like they did last game, I don't see why they will. They show you they can execute a good game plan, so now it's a matter of finding the right one for this particular game. I think Fabrice got it.
And it looks like their best player overall, according to FootMob. FootMob is D Mello. D Mello, kind of hard to say it when it's still supposed to be separated or whatever. D Mello, and she has 2 goals on the season. And on the other side, on the opposite side, Sears has 3 goals on the season. So it looks like they're getting their goals from wing play, per se, according to FootMob. So uh, if they're relying on the wing play, I'm gonna be totally okay with that because we play kind of in the box and defend well in the box, and I think it'll
Yeah,
play to our advantage, and then we'll be able to burst on our wing, hopefully to counter a little quicker than usual and take advantage of that play. And then I
for
can agree
sure.
with you where it's 3-1, 2-1 right now. It's just so tough. But I don't see where, like you said, where Louisville is going to create those goal opportunities. So I will go say this time Dash continue to win and do win 2-1. Now
Yeah,
everybody else wants to know. Now you said the score, and you said who's going to score it? Who's going to score it? So Sass, man, I'll put you on the spot, and real quick, I'll let you think while I tell you who I think's going to score, and it is going to be Deanna Ordonez with the second goal, and it be a game winner. I'm not sure if she's going to start and get that second goal before she's subbed off, or if she's going to sub on and end up getting the thrilling second goal, and then the next one is going to come from your midfield play again. Dang, where it's going to come, maybe I think we'll go back to a Maggie Graham goal to get back into the news, the headlines. Maggie Graham,
nice. That's a good prediction, man. That's a good
yeah,
prediction.
and Ordonez to finish off.
Interesting. It's an interesting prediction, and with that means you're expecting Ordonez to start or sub in. Or,
I see it. It could be late. Like when I say late, the final 20 minutes of the
yeah,
game. So she
yeah,
she
yeah,
could be in the game and like score whenever her substitution is getting up and getting ready to come in for her, and she just bang her. What a goal! Hey Deanna, sub. Or she just comes into the 70th minute mark or the 65th mark,
yeah.
and works her way into a goal, and it be a 2-1, and then it's the game was tied and we win 2-1 and it's her goal. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm visioning. Dashers, are y'all with us? Are y'all with us?
I feel like you felt that. I feel like
Yeah, yeah. All right. So who's scoring for you?
for Dash, Maggie's hot. Maggie's hot. I think Maggie's gonna score one. And I would love for Bright to start her scoring.
Oh, please. Yes. That would be
Uh,
awesome if Bright and
right,
Ordonez gets it. Good.
right. Hey, how about this one, Maggie? I'll tell. Okay, I'll go bold. 3-1 Dash. We'll have uh, Emma Sears is definitely somebody to look out for race for Racing Louisville. So I would give her the goal, and I would say Bright, Ordonez, and the last one. mm, who could be the last one? Graham. I will go with Graham. Graham, Ordonez, and Bright. Yeah, yeah,
All right. I like it. I like it. Last time it was tough for me. I was like, I think a defender's gonna come get it on a set piece or something like that and get a goal out of it.
it's really tough because the team has a lot of attacking pieces, but they don't have a lot of attacking options, like attacking situations. I mean, and we don't
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
lot of goals to kind of draw from. So if
No.
Mrs. Bright can get hot, because Maggie's getting tired of pulling the weight. You saw, I like the Delaney stepped up this last game, but I think we need to start seeing more from our strikers. So yeah,
Was Delaney the player of the match?
yes, yes. In the last game, she was player of the match.
Yeah.
Average of 8.2, 8 point
Yeah.
two rating.
Yes, I was. I'm glad you mentioned that because outside of the goal, just her passes, her accurate passes, her leads, and everything else, her numbers were leading to. She had a great game, and visually, eye test wise, she looked like she had a great game. Where how she was moving the ball on the midfield and around the midfield, was not losing possession. Granted, the passes were completed. It just some of it just didn't transition too much into the attack. It just transitioned in small passes or small or sideways or
Yeah,
backwards.
sometimes, yeah, like the way the team played. And I think she even said it herself, she was more comfortable. She was more comfortable. She felt like, and I think she mentioned it in a press conference that she felt like she was getting used to her teammates, understanding where they play,
Yeah,
and they're getting that confidence now. And so, I mean, look, man, the statistics real quick, if you want to go over them. For Sheehan in
yeah,
that last game, 71% passing, 34 out of 48 passes, two accurate crosses, eight long balls, six of them were accurate. Only one shot on target, but why? Because she was getting water with the buckets, and it just goes to show you she's a workhorse there. And it's good to have those kind of dependable players. We have one in Jack McGlynn. That's what I would compare her to. And it's nice to have that glue. Those are the glue type of players. She was bringing in balls from the defense, pushing them up in the offense, taking her chances, and that one shot, the only one shot goes in. Um, I think other players who need to step up. I saw poor performance for Colaprico, and It's gonna be interesting to see how she plays this next game. There wasn't much showing of her. West Paul was lost. I understand as a new signing, but you know, maybe it's taking her a little bit of time to get adjusted to the team. But undoubtedly, this last game, she the best player in the team. I don't know about you, but I think the Dash have enough players to take player of the match for a different player every game, and for us not to be surprised.
right. I think a little more from Colaprico is needed in her game. She also had that yellow card too, so it was dangerous for her. So uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so those are a bunch of great points, man. And this team is just there. The soccer IQ is there as well. It's building. You can see it. It is a struggle sometimes.
Hmm.
Especially I'm in I'm sitting where you're sitting in the press box as well, and man, and my table's metal outside, so I just want to I gotta stop myself because I just don't want to make
I
too much
can't make too
noise.
much noise. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta keep those emotions in friggin' check too. Sometimes too much, it's incredible. But you're like but
Yeah.
like when Andreas is sitting next to me at the Dash games, like so sometimes you get that
Pinch
shoulder
him,
shrug.
pinch
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I grab I'm like I'm like shit, or the little slap on the shoulder right there, like you just want to be
It
moved.
is.
But
It
but
is
yeah,
frustrating because, especially in the final third, this team is made out for more. We got to find a way to. Do you think there's a realm in where you have, the Ash convert their style of play to more like a dynamo type of play and have Bright, Losi, and Ordonez?
wow. No, I mean, hmm.
Those are
Because when you get rid of
three
Jake,
credible pieces, bro.
yeah, but I mean, what do well, you're. What are you benching though? So you want Patterson to start, and you're not benching her for Alozie.
Yeah.
That's yeah. So it's tough. What
I
do you
mean,
do? You got
Patterson was
Jer-
lost last game. Let's not
yeah, yeah. It's also her first game back too, so
yeah,
we can hide it off to that. But yeah,
yeah,
I'll base off that one game. I'm not benching Patterson for anything, especially the girls U.S. women's national player now. Hell no, I'm not trying to take anything away from her. As a matter, I'm making sure she plays more, and her form has to show that she needs is the reason why maybe she comes off the bench
yeah,
as a substitute instead of a starter. That was one game, but she did take a nice head to the a knock to the head, and maybe she ain't
yeah.
quite 100% yet. So uh, I'm sure she'll be fine. They could have been marking her. Maybe that was part of the game plan too, just to take out Avery Patterson, make sure she doesn't advance on you. And so, but Alosia missing too was different because she brings that pace and brings something different to the game. So hopefully she'll be back and ready. We'll have to check in and see which girls are practicing this week and see if they're
Yeah.
and then check the friggin' eligible the report on Thursday.
What a luxury do you have on bench, huh? You have a On a good day, you'd have Ordonez and you'd have Lozi. So, yeah, it's insane. And Lozi, it's if you need it, because I think I'm expecting to see her in the game this next game if she's not injured, just because this kind of game is going to be more suited for her. She's more physical, but she's also quicker, and she knows how to
Right.
play off the back end. She's going to keep them back. Because she's always on top waiting for that run. So she's gonna keep the defense on their toes. They're gonna be able to she's gonna be able to anchor them back. That's hoping that kind of happens. But if not, it wouldn't be a bad lineup if he repeats again from this past game. A lot of things can go wrong and a lot of things can go right. But this game, in my opinion, is important. This is a game that it's either going to separate the Dash from the pack, from the playoff pack, or it's going to keep the Dash in the hunt for the playoffs.
Oh man, I wouldn't go as far as if or and for the separate from the playoff pack. If we do lose this game, it's going to hurt. I don't think it's going to. It's just going to put us back in our place. If we win, then it's something to really build off of too. So, but
Yeah.
losing this game won't like kill us. It's gonna hurt, right? But it's not gonna take us out because of there's still so much season left. So you can fix those mistakes. You just don't want to lose them at home and lose them to a team where you could go in and you may be the team that's supposed to win. What is the line right now? I should look real quick to see what that dang line is for the
Dash. The prediction is for Dash.
the prediction is for
Dash.
Dash. Yeah, it looks like it is kind of heavily favored to the Dash. So that'll be
Yeah.
whew, so come on, man. I'm sure I'll be seeing you there. But Seth,
Yeah,
man,
for sure.
I think we've had a nice little 45 minutes. But I want to appreciate all the people that are following along. Cecil, thank you for joining me tonight and doing the Dash Dispatch with us. I don't count the episodes. I just do the shows. That's why you didn't hear episode number whatever. Uh, that's a noodle thing. Nah, but hey,
You do
Seth.
more of these? What? I thought I was the first one. World premiere, bro.
No, thanks, man. Hey, but tell the people where to find you and what you're working on right now, and any shout outs you want to throw out there right now too.
All right, guys. So right now, right now, I'm planning to do a little giveaway for a mask. It's about a kid size. So more details on my Instagram. That leads me my Instagram. At XESPOOL cesspool at XESPOOL. You can find me on Snapchat on
I see
X
his
as
name over
well.
there.
And then, I don't have a Facebook. So yeah, just on Instagram and X, you can find me at Cesspool. I do have a YouTube account. I'm not active on there. I'm not active on there, but I am working on doing more interviews with the players, getting more fan reactions, even going to Dynamo 2 as well. So I mean, I'm gonna start posting more content on there, of course. But yeah,
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Hey, do you want to shout out who? Maybe you don't. I don't know. That could be something
so
secret. You don't. I was gonna say something
so
about the mask, man.
So you know how this is a little off topic because it's not about the dash, but on Saturday, as you were aware, we ran into each other at the Dynamo game. We were at the tailgate, had a nice little fun. I had a lot of fun making that video too, by the way. But
Hell yeah.
so after the game, you know how crazy I am. So I tell Angel, our good buddy Angel, I'm like, hey man. I want to swap my mask with McGlynn. And he's like, all right, let's do it. So
Do it.
we started bugging people there with the guys with the black, polo
Right,
shirts.
right, right.
And somebody, I'm not gonna name who, somebody ran the idea by Jack, and Jack said absolutely. He came over. handed his shirt. I gave him my mask, and the rest was history. So shout out to Jack for trading his mask. And it's not gonna be the first. It's not the last either. I got more in the works, and I got my mask guy working really hard to make some more, so I can do more swaps, and then eventually. Yeah, if people start requesting players and I get something working with the team, then maybe we can do some giveaways with the shirts as well.
I think we might need to get Deanna Ordonez a mask or a Bob Oliveri a mask. I don't know. We might
Um,
need to transition to the dash side of it and get those players involved.
don't let my girlfriend know, but Alozi already asked me for a mask since last season, and I don't know how to get it to her, bro. So if you
What
want
do
to
you
help a brother out.
What do you mean? That's it. Hey, that's easy. That's easy. So, Alosia hashtag at Alosia. Hey, hello. We're talking to you. Hey, he wants to. You got a mask for you. You got a mask for you. So you know what? Hit up cesspool at cesspool. It's easy to get a hold. But hey,
I don't want to get
uh,
in her DMs. That could start. You know how the paparazzis are. I don't want. I feel naughty
uh-huh.
getting in her DMs. And so it's because my girlfriend's on the other side. She can hear me.
She's
No, but
watching live. She's watching live in Peru.
yes. No, but in all seriousness, so the first one on my list, it's Oliveri. Oliveri is the first one on my list, and just for one reason, she was cool enough to invite me to the Man City bar. I wasn't able to make it, but just for that, and then Alozi is next as well.
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's work on that and make that happen. And again, like I said, people, thank y'all for jumping in. Thank y'all for listening on whatever platform that you are listening on. It's just YouTube. This is Foxtrot TV. Cesspool, of course, is chilling out his handles. Go back and rewind if you want to listen to him again and get those handles and make sure you follow. Cesspool, thank you for jumping in tonight. And man, y'all know where to find us at Dynamic Foxtrot, at Noodle Tempio, at Dynamic Foxtrot on IG. There's a couple TikToks here and there for OSG from Noodle Time. Man, but Foxtrot TV is where to be at. We're working at 300. Working for 300 subscribers. Y'all go hit the subscribe button. You don't have to go hit the bell, just the subscribe button. As I run over to it, let me get to the channel real quick and see how many we're actually at now, man. What are
it's
we
not a
currently?
marriage proposal, guys. It's free.
No,
It's free.
it is free, but of course now I can't even see the number how many that it is. It's hello. Oh, there it is. 283. 283. So 17 more to go. Mark on the Noodle Time side is doing a nice giveaway once we hit 30, 300. Sorry, not 30, 300. So we're going to participate and make sure that giveaway and see if we can get some dashing included in that. But man, Sess, again, thank you for coming along for this ride. This is the Dash Dispatch, and we throw our H's up when we're on our ways out.